All right, call to order, right? Yeah. Approval of minutes. Or do we have to do anything on call to order?
Oh, you're good. You just asked for a motion to approve the minutes.
Yeah, motion to approve the minutes.
I
So
make a
moved,
motion.
it's Angel.
Holland seconds.
I didn't get, was that Abby or Angel?
Angel,
Thank you.
And then just a quick vote on that.
What's that?
Yeah,
Oh,
all in favor.
all in favor? Aye.
aye.
There we go. We're good.
Doesn't look like we have any visitors.
Nope.
Old business, holiday lighting options.
I'm going to, since we're all mostly online, rather than pass around a catalog that I ended up throwing away anyways here. This is outdoor holiday outdoordecor.com. It is a commercial vendor that we use at the city and our sort of go-to. So I wanted to just highlight, I'm going to go through a couple here, but we've got some lamp displays that look very much like what Old Webster does, but you now have power added to them that are potentially, you know, the bows and the garland, or pole mount displays, which is really what I was thinking for those 10 poles that you're looking at. So I'll start there, but again, want your input on these. All these prices that you see here, sorry about the menu coming over the top of that one. The prices here are going to be about 10 to 15% less because of our buying record with these folks. So, but it gives you a sense, like if you wanted to go just for the snowflake pole mount, you know, you're looking at about $1,000. And these are traditional. There's some more other designs. So I'll just scroll down through here. You can see bells and
For each?
for each. Yeah, so I mean, here, let me just pop in here and. So, you know, that's going to be about that. We're going to see a reduction on that as well, but it's going to be, you know, somewhere around $1,000. Now, there are different designs. Obviously, the point is they mount on poles. We can mount it like that, or we can strap it onto the side. And then we've got power. You know, there's different types. You can see here, you know, this diamond snowflake much cheaper, right? So, I mean, there are different costs to each of them. There's these post toppers and such as well. So. And any folks online, if you want to have me stop scrolling or talk about anything, feel free. I wanted to roll through these and see, we've got 10 poles down on the end of, down towards Novel Neighbor that are powered and could have these added if you want me to move forward. In terms of money, ultimately, you have an incredible fund balance. So, I mean, we can do this, you know, without blowing your budget because you have a whole load of savings if you want to get into having some powered Christmas stuff. So. I will stop scrolling unless you all want to keep going. I mean, here again, snowflakes. I think we talked about that. The Christmas candle idea, candy canes. You know, that's now you're down to $399. So I mean, they obviously put those bigger ones up top, as we all do when we sell in catalogs type of things. So there's different Christmas tree ideas, poinsettias. So. Any thoughts? I know I'm scrolling here and is that something we should pursue and look at?
I think it'd be nice, but
Is this in lieu of, this is Angel, is this in lieu of the banners? Are we, what, and I apologize, do we typically light to Webster lights?
Right, so there is no lighting on the street lights. We're talking about the poles that are on the sidewalks, the decorative poles. Because none of them other than your new ones and a few in Old Webster have power. So right now you get some decorations added to your poles, but they're not powered. They're not lit.
Okay.
So you will still have banners and such. These would simply be since you have power, did you want to look at adding lit decorations like this?
Got it.
That space. And then just add to that, we did confirm the tree at Gazebo Park is being removed this summer. So there will be, yeah, it is already gone, actually.
Yeah.
There's a replacement tree going to be going in. I don't know if that's in yet, but it is not going to be anywhere near as grand yet. Now, we don't have to do ground displays and buy all that kind of stuff, but I just want to make you aware that we'll try to figure out something to light up the park with, you know, this winter for the holiday season.
anybody have any input on those? I mean, I think it'd be nice if people coming into the old orchard from the east, to say like, here we are, you know, but.
I Yeah, I think the diamond snowflakes, I mean, not necessarily just because they're kind of cheap, but just because that's seasonal more so than holiday. So I think something like that could last or make sense for a little bit longer being up and out.
Or maybe even a combination of the snowflakes and those candy canes were only 400 or so, maybe a couple of each or something.
You can do
I
whatever
think
you
you
want.
probably need to decide if you want to go with more of a modern look or if you want to go with more of like a old town kind of feel.
Right.
Because I mean, some of the stuff looks more kind of old timey Christmas, and then some of it looks more modern. So
And this is in their traditional series. Sorry for the fast growing here. Let me get you to the new designer series, which I did not look at, but obviously you can see. These designer collections are going to cost more, but you see the little bit more modern take on some things. So, we can certainly look at that, but it's going to be more expensive, to go that way. But even back in the traditional, I keep moving you all around here. Back in the traditional series, you certainly can find some things that look a little more modern than, sort of have a holly jolly Christmas type of feel. So
Eric, what are the size of those? Is there a scale provided?
sure. Well, let's just pull one up. I think they all have a few different inches and such, but let me open one up here. So they're about 4.5 feet by 8 feet.
Oh,
So
wow. They're pretty big.
yeah, so the candle one is big. Let me go back to the snowflake here. Since we talked about this one. We have options and sizes of
Okay.
snowflakes, so. We'd probably be about a 3x3, maybe a 4x4. We take a look at the mounting and whole configuration down there to be able to get it snapped on. And what space, so we don't have folks walking into it, and such.
This is just on one side of the road.
We would go on one side, yeah, probably the roadside, but again, I don't want to have doors, if a cargo van or something's parked there and snapping off your brand new decoration, so.
I agree. I kind of like the snowflake idea. It keeps it winter versus 100% Christmas.
That's
now I live in Columbia, Illinois, and they do more of like an older style, Christmas, and it is absolutely adorable, and it attracts a ton of people to the stores over the Christmas holiday for the simple fact that I think it gives you that warm fuzzy feeling. It's not so sterile, and the snowflakes are adorable, but I don't think they're gonna fit that space going down Webster. Like, I think it needs more of that old kind of feel, like that comfy, cozy Christmas. Or comfy, cozy holiday, or whatever, That's just me personally. You guys do as you will.
well.
So we can do most anything. You can just simply tell us that, you want the city to put something up and we'll figure it out and put it up, or I can send this out to you all and we can try to
We'll vote on it.
poll on it essentially and see what your thoughts are. This is, go ahead.
I would assume, there's definitely some people missing all the time, but yeah, I mean, if this is gonna affect Old Orchard, and I know it's hard to get consensus of things, but I do know John, or at least Kelly of the bars, definitely would potentially have some opinions. So if we don't have to decide this minute, I mean, I'm happy to pull in some other opinions.
We do not need to decide this minute, we'll authorize and get the budget taken care of whenever you guys decide what you want. I can send essentially, I think sticking on the pole mount like this, I showed you the lamp sort of falling garland. You certainly can do it. That's very much the old Webster look. I don't know if you want to be a little different from them or not, but you can see this whole catalog, and then I think essentially ask for some feedback and sort of compile it for you all. We can decide next month. We should be able to get these in, and the supply chain is pretty good at turning around now finally, so.
Okay, I would say it's a good idea. And put something towards it and then decide if we can consensus on what design or a couple designs or whatever.
Okay.
But I definitely think it would be nice to have that entering, you know, it kind of feels like you're entering the shopping district
Yeah.
kind of thing.
All right, that's great. I will send that out. And then when I send that out, I'll also give you all the link to, let me just find it here if we can find. Where's that? Ground display. So I just wanted to highlight, these are obviously many different, types of things, but these are ground displays and, if we wanted to do something like gazebo on the ground, right? The lit things that you shove in the ground and then run power to it. So feel free to look at those. No expectations, but there's lots of different ideas.
Okay. John Barr is saying he's listening, but he can't,
Oh, is he in there?
can't speak or show my video.
Let me get John in so he can join us. John, 2 seconds here. I'm glad John's with us. He should be coming in over here. John, you're with us now. You should be able to join us. Sorry about that.
You're also muted.
Hi, everybody.
Hey. Welcome.
Welcome, John.
I've been listening. I couldn't get in, but here we are.
John, we were talking about on this, on pole mounted potentially for some of those powered poles on the new streetscape and down by Novel Neighbor, the addition of now lit decorations and such. And so I think we had left it at, obviously folks wanted to hear from you, but sending this online catalog out to get some ideas, between different designs and such like that and what people would be looking for.
I heard you. If we're able to delay it for a vote, I guess I like the idea of being holiday, like Christmas celebrator myself, but I know that we have a lot of people that we'd like to feel inclusive too. So a candy cane or a snowflake seem to be things that everyone celebrates. And if we're bringing everyone and anyone to Old Orchard, I think anything that's just holiday oriented, that's gonna be my vote eventually. I don't know that if we don't need to make the decision now, let's punt it. That's my opinion.
Yeah, I would think maybe look at a price range, like maybe not go over $600 each. I mean, just, $1,000 a pole seems like a lot to me.
That's a good point.
Candy cane for 44 looks pretty good. Those snowflakes look okay. I mean, with it, price wise. I just think $1,000 per pole a lot. It's not my money.
Well, it is all your money, so you've all paid into that fund over the years, so.
I agree with you there then. So I can't quite see. I have my readers on and I still can't see that price on my Zoom. There we go. Candy canes were $399.50.
Do those light up?
Yeah, so these are all lit. These are all lit displays. So these candy canes here do have lights in them. They are I shouldn't say that. Let me double check here. Let me scroll in. Yeah, it does have lamps in it. So there's lamps in the 23 lamps in the candy canes. So
What are the lowest costing yet most durable and low maintenance of all the choices?
the lowest, you're really gonna see that $399 mark is right about the low end of it all. So durability, I mean, we can check on that. Yvonne, who, over at Parks, does a lot of work with these folks and, obviously buys the garland and such. We'll probably, since we have a month, we may ask them to send just, like one of these pieces out. The snowflake and the candy cane, sort of see what it looks like, how it feels. They're usually more than willing to send us, here's a sample, yeah, to see how it's going to attach, what things we need to be prepared for. So we're not scrambling in mid cold November to figure out attaching hardware and such.
Can you email us out this page?
Yeah, so I will be sending this catalog. It's online and you're welcome to look through it all. There's lots of different things in here. So if there's, something you see and, we haven't talked about, feel free to throw it back in the response. I'll put together that and send it out through Fran.
Okay,
Okay,
thank you.
I guess we'll move on to traffic calming and pedestrian safety update.
So I've not had anything from the county, but I know bids are, they will get ready to start the bidding process for next summer soon. I say soon because we're talking about October at City Hall already, but probably between late summer, early fall. There will be a specific web page created for the project. It may already be created. I was taking a quick scroll through. I will send that to Fran and have it out to you all. So it's a project web page where you can see status updates and also, you know, what next steps are along that. So we obviously have one for Crossroads project as well as being built. So
All right, rooftop lighting update.
the rooftop lighting, I have no update other than Stride Holland, as I mentioned, is. If they haven't called you yet, I'm going to call them and tell them they're supposed to be calling you because they're supposed to be connecting with you to fix the lights on top of your roof. So have they called
They
you or emailed you?
They have not called me. I don't know if by accident they might have called the landlord, because if so, that'll never move anything. So I'm happy. I mean, my email would probably be the best, or I'm happy to even give you my cell phone if this happens. So just no, I have not heard from them.
Okay, well, I'm gonna put you on an email later today between all three.
Perfect.
So,
Thank you.
Um, 2023 district events.
well, we have lots of events, namely gazebo series, which the permit has been turned in. I'll turn to Fran. We'll start there. Is there anything about that we need to
The permit,
gazebo
The
series in
the
general?
only question is, last year we had an issue with Beards Hall because of their exiting. But it wasn't until closer to when school started during the summer, it wasn't an issue. I'm assuming we're gonna have,
Correct.
the way they've got that set up,
Right, they have to, so when people come out of Nearings, you have to take a right and go down East Lockwood, which for some period of time is going to mean that we'll need to keep the street. Because we can't, there's no way to get them around over on,
unless
it's
they go,
supposed to go around,
out the inn,
unless,
that's the
exactly,
only way.
right, exactly. So we'll end up probably having to run a lane down the parking lane
Okay,
next to Starbucks Boardwalk Cafe.
gotcha,
Run a drive lane that then you can move back in and shut down later in the night.
okay,
You know what I'm saying? So,
right, yeah, because we do fill up the street, so.
Yes. Is that, would you have vendors on that side of the street?
No, we usually put them on the other side.
Okay, so I think that's probably the safest then is, and I'm looking at Officer Razul as well. I'm talking with Captain Spear, obviously, but. You know, have them come out and go down the parking lane as a drive lane, you know, for
Which should
an
not have
hour
any
or so.
cars parked on it, because we do,
I mean. Do you guys usually put signs up there?
yeah,
No
usually there's
parking?
no parking on either side.
Yeah, then, I mean, if, worst case, you guys can have one of us direct traffic for the time that they're getting out,
Okay,
so at least. We're at least, they're invisible.
right,
And if that doesn't work, we'd always. And I think it should work, as long as there's a full, way for them to get out, you don't know where to go.
okay.
Um,
And last year it was only one, I think it was the final one in September that was an issue.
Right.
Because during the summer, they're not there, so.
And if you notice that there's going to be an issue or you feel, a little weird about it, just call us right away. Just say, hey, can we have a district officer come do a traffic control for us? We'll be happy to come out and stand there for a few minutes.
Gotcha, okay,
So-
cool.
I wasn't sure the rest of this, the conversation and events, is this just talking in general about
Well,
what the plan is?
I had hoped that a couple of people that I talked to during the business coffee were talking about, they want to know what's going on for the tree lighting. So I explained that that wasn't going to happen, but there is the businesses that are on Summit want to do something again like they did with the Summit, the person that lives farther down Summit, they had the big deal, and we tied it in. This was the same day as the tree lighting. So I said, we don't have anything planned yet because we don't have a tree. And they had talked about coming in. One guy's the Peter who owns the jewelry store. His family,
Pass it.
yes, correct. his family has some history or connection with carnival business. And he's even talking about closing off a section of
Really?
Summit and put up some sort of carnival ride. He said, well, you could do that at Gazebo Park too. Unfortunately, I did send them a reminder, but none of them are here today, but they were very interested in. And we talked about trying to do something for the fall too, but that hasn't, now's the time to talk about it if you guys want to do anything. Abby, I did have a question for you. Do you think the choir is still interested in doing singing again?
Yeah, I mean, when I talked to them before, they were pretty much looking at this as like a ongoing gig for them in their
Okay.
students every year. So I think they definitely would be interested.
They were very well received last year.
Certainly even without a tree, we can figure out something to light up the thing and, to light up and do something. We'll, if we
Can we
want
do
to
the
have the event.
gazebo? Can we light up
Yeah.
the gazebo?
Exactly, Angel. I mean, whether it be
Yeah.
gazebo or, I mean,
Mailbox?
we'll find a reason to have lights and have a party if you all want to have that event. So, and we'll figure out the infrastructure.
I thought did we kind of pick out a day that we were gonna? do?
If we did, it would have been the first Saturday in December, which would be the second.
Second.
And if you tie in with what the businesses on Summit want to do. I mean, they were also collecting cans, which we put in Gazebo Park too, or the Can Good Drive.
Mhm.
So there's potential to get folks involved, but we gotta start organizing.
Well, I would say let's stick to that December 2nd date and then figure, with carolers and then some kind of lighting thing.
So we can definitely do something like we did last year. That's, easy to do in terms of the gazebo park side. I do think, one of the things we did here at the Business Coffee, and it was really well. I think it was great to see was a lot of people, asking, Old Webster does these events, does Old Orchard have the merchant
Yeah,
association?
there's
and
quite a few.
And how do they
larger
get
businesses
connected
there.
into that? And I think there's just some folks that have some ideas on, even this coming Friday. Summit Webster Arts is shutting down Summit along with, who's the new business that's going in there? Right, there's a new business there, but they're having dogs. Like it's a little pet block party
Huh.
right out on Summit there, so that's.
Interesting.
But my point being is that I think there's some growing little potential energy about that kind of stuff along the way. So I'm not saying you have to do anything. I'm just letting you all know that's the vibe I got from those conversations.
And it was retail businesses mostly that were Glow Candle, Union Studio, Fire and Faucet. So there's some energy.
Mhm. The more we can get involved, and try to coordinate or let them know, hey, we're shooting for December 2nd. Is that what you're thinking about? Is that kind of what you're thinking there, Fran, as far as what they've been saying?
Yes, they wanted to tie in if we were gonna do something.
I think if we're gonna do something it's easy to tie in, and even if we want to co-brand the events, I mean, it's not
Right.
hard to do, and I don't think it costs Old Orchard anything to,
No,
Yeah, I would just say December 2nd and say, see what you got and, or you're welcome to join anything you want to do. Because that would add a little bit more around the corner and
Sure.
everything.
Is it, I know in my hometown, they love to call it the holiday stroll, that idea of just, there's the lighting, and so that whole day is sort of built around retail's open and, come shop and such. I don't know if that's ever been done with the gazebo, the lighting idea, right? That,
it had, not to my knowledge, no. It's a perfect opportunity.
Mhm.
I'm assuming most retailers are gonna be open on Sunday in December, even if it's a Sunday.
Oh, I thought it's Saturday.
Saturday,
Well,
Saturday.
Saturday, yeah.
Sorry, Saturday, they'll be open, so.
Oh, they definitely.
It's really a marketing play, right? You just,
Perfect, yeah.
Yeah.
holiday stroll, and then wrap it up with gazebo and
Yeah,
all that kind of
and
stuff.
maybe those people kind of get involved, might want to get more involved with this or.
Well, one of the ones that was the manager at Union Studio, she was the one that organized the recent Mother's Day thing.
Mhm.
So, I mean, let's tap into that. Make sense?
Mhm.
Yes, all right.
What was her name at Union? What was her name at Union?
Jillian? Was that,
John Michael.
I think it's July. I've got
I
it,
think Julian.
it's on my list of attendees.
Yes, mine too.
We'll get it to you.
Have
Bob.
we, have you guys, I don't know, correct me if I'm wrong, but have you guys ever had like Santa come?
In the past, we haven't for a
Right.
couple of years now.
Okay, we have, you know, my son's birthday is on the 18th and we always go out huge on this. And so last year we did a huge Christmas theme. We had Santa and Mrs. Claus and like 4 or 5 elves and snow blowers. And I tried last minute to get, there are places out there that have reindeer and they come and they stay for a few hours. And I mean, it was last minute and they're like, how much money do you want to spend? And I'm like, not the kind of money that you want. But if we get them soon enough, we can have them out there and it's very cute. It becomes a very family oriented event. And if parents want to shop, they can, but there's also activities for the kids and they can see Santa and the elves. I don't know. I mean, food for thought, but I think it's adorable and I think it would attract a lot of people. I've never come to any of the events in Webster because we're typically very busy with 4 children, but this is something I would totally bring my kids out to. If Santa was there and reindeer were there and all of that stuff.
And I certainly don't want to intend that you all copy Old Webster and anything, but there are benefits. You can see some of the model, right? I mean, if Santa's set up someplace, you know, if you have an attraction, you can move people up and down the street, you know, let them stroll. And then really, you know, if if the timing works out, great, you know, he's there to help flip the switch and light the park up and blah, 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 you know,
Exactly.
so.
Now, I will warn you, if the Santas are good and popular, you need to get them booked.
Right.
Because Old Webster's already got theirs booked. Now, the ones that Old Webster uses are amazing. I would highly recommend them. It's a couple.
Hmm.
He's a retired teacher. His beard is real.
There we go.
And I would, you all may know this, Old Webster directly subsidizes a lot more of the trade association functions like what we're talking about
Yes.
than you all subsidize. But you are welcome to do that. You can do that. You can, you know, the street dance coming up this weekend in Old Webster, that's really all coming from the special taxing district. So you all can say, hey, let's put some money towards this kind of marketing and effort, you know, and, you know, pay for Santas out of the tax district and such. So.
When is Old Webster's?
In November. Let's see, the 12th, Sunday.
Can you get the Santa's name and stuff? from
I
them?
can.
I think that's a good idea.
I think it's a great idea, you know, even if it is not a stroll, even if it's just for the period in the park. you know,
Yeah,
Yeah,
even
so-
for just that.
Yeah.
All right.
And Abby, if
Well,
you want,
the idea that you're not gonna have a Christmas tree, so that's not gonna be your attraction. So what is the attraction that we're bringing people to? Santa.
Right.
You know, this year, and maybe next year you do both, or maybe next year you say, hey, the tree is gonna be great to light up, you know, but this could be your draw.
We can easily put a big chair in a gazebo and light it up and have, you know, pictures of Santa under the gazebo and all that kind of stuff, so.
I would think focus on the gazebo just to be like,
Yeah,
boom, it's open and
Yeah.
here we go. Abby, could you check out what it costs to get those reindeer or something, just to?
Yeah, I'll call the companies again. Like I said, I called on like the 18th of December and they're like, we can cancel an event. How much money do you want to spend? And I'm like, no, I don't know, not that. So I'll call now. I think if we can book something now, that would be great. Yeah, I will call them and get a price point for you guys. And Fran, I'll shoot it over to you so you have it. You can let whoever
Okay.
know.
All right.
Okay, thanks. All right,
I was going to just,
What time would you guys want them? Because they will ask, you know, time frame.
probably like 4 in the afternoon, right, or earlier? Because I'm thinking.
Well, if you want to tie it in with the dusk,
right, so we lit it up, what, 6:30-ish last year, 6:30? I think somewhere in that
Somewhere
range,
around there.
yeah.
I would just say late afternoon and see if they do a minimum
Yeah.
of hours or whatever they do.
Yeah, I think it was a 4-hour window that they actually had. So
A
I'll just
4-hour
say like,
window should be good.
yeah.
You know,
okay,
like
okay.
3 to 7 or something. That would.
Three, that's what I was thinking, 3 to 7. So, okay, awesome. Yeah, I'll let you know.
I was going to also ask, I think last year you had a great grouping of people that came to the holiday event and it was really good. I didn't know if you were interested, if you wanted to do any sense of a food drive or a Toys for Tots type of thing to encourage people to bring something to give as well, and just sort of as a service from Old Orchard. Don't have to, I just want to put it on the table.
And depending upon what you want to do, And if you do it early enough, you could get a Marine there.
Yeah, and we do Choice for Tots at our place,
Okay.
and so we could just put our boxes out there too. I mean,
Sure, yeah, I mean, it doesn't have to
same-
be at the park, we can do it all through the whole district, or, you know.
Or just, they give us a bunch of boxes, we could put them over. there,
Exactly,
you know, so I think that, yeah,
Toys for
nice
Tots,
addition.
that, folks, how you think about that during the holiday lighting event? Don't hear you on objecting, so.
I think it's a good idea. It's Angel. I think Toys for Tots is a great idea.
Last year, we collected over 100 bicycles from Weber's Front Row. People, we gave an incentive. If you gave a bike, you got 12 free meals or something. So we did over 100.
You know how many bikes are sitting in my shed up home and how many times I go to Weber's for lunch in a week and. Bob didn't tell me that.
Uh-oh.
Well, most of them were down in Arnold, but we got, we caught on in Webster a little late, but we still got a bunch anyway. It was kind of fun. And the Toys for Tots people were floored. They're just like, oh my God, we've never had anybody do this. So it was kind of cool.
That's cool.
So we could put a couple bikes out there and be like, you know, I mean, that's the
Sure.
high end of it, but
Yeah.
yeah. Really can get a bike for $80 or something. All right, well, let's try to tie all that in on that same day. So we have the day and just add to it with, and, but plan on that day. Okay. How about, move on to new business? DDC?
BDC update, I just real quick, the business coffee was, I think we mentioned it at, well, maybe, I don't think you've had a meeting since our business
No, we
coffee, so. It was a really good event. I think we had 40 some registered folks that signed in and then others that just walked in and, you know, so it was probably 65, 70 of us when the room was
Yeah,
at its fullest. It was really good. Lots of great comments. You'll see those. We'll send those out after BDC does some sorting and sifting specific to Old Orchard. Again, some people asking sort of, how does Old Webster do this? And is there an Old Orchard version of, you know, the trade association? And we, Fred did a great job, mentioned that there is a talk with him and really make, connections and be involved. But then also, and I think a lot of this is the folks at Fire and Facet, but conversations about the sidewalk or crosswalk need in their opinion at Summit and Lockwood, right on the edge of the district there. That's not going to be BDC's job, but we'll get that forwarded over to the Police and Traffic Advisory Commission, but I just wanted to bring it up. And then I think, you know, one of the things I noticed, because things we think about at City Hall, but conversations about trash cans and beautification, you know, that they really enjoy the beautification, want more of it, but also, you know, potentially some more trash cans. So I do think BDC is going to look at that. How do they have the city involved in areas without business districts, and what is the right number of receptacles across a business district and such like that to help avoid littering, so.
All right, city update. We have,
Councilwoman Richardson could not be with us. She had work this morning, so just briefly, the budget is all but adopted, so all the amendments I think are done. I don't expect any more from the city council. That'll be adopted on Tuesday night. And then we will switch back into strategic planning at the city council, which has an economic development component. And I expect that we'll be diving into an economic development plan along with the city's comprehensive plan to come up on that. And we have just submitted the EV charging grant to the federal government for 2.5 million to add 18 electric vehicle charging stations around the city, including in the Old Orchard area. So on public spaces that we own. But again, you know, we are hopeful and we think we're well positioned for that grant. And that will be adding, you know, EV charging stations like here at City Hall around the city. Cool. Yeah.
okay, I guess it's,
Anything, officer? Did you have
no,
anything
sir.
on your wicket?
And next meeting would be July 11th.
John Barr, what do you think?
What?
I think he was off mute accidentally.
Oh,
So,
Could
So
I ask
July
a
11th
question?
yep, go ahead, Angel.
Just curious, across from the Subaru, the Tele Tire, what is that little building gonna do? I don't know if I missed that or if there is something.
There is,
brick-
is it hair studio and salon, spa, I think in the back there. Yeah, it's a spa, spa slash hair salon slash cosmetology. And so that they're reconstructing in the back, I think, to add some of the features they wanted to have. I think they've got mud baths and things like that. From what I've heard, I am not an expert on all the
Okay.
services provided. As you can
I
tell.
know there was
so.
discussion a while back, but I wasn't sure. Oh, give me that, if that was what, and I was asked, Dr. Love was asking me, the owner of the practice. I said, I don't know. I'll ask. Thank you.
So set the next meeting would be, what I say, July 11th.
It would be July 11th. I think,
I know.
did we want to ask if we're gonna meet all summer? Is that
Yeah,
what we're?
that's what you guys had said you would discuss.
Yeah, I know I'm gonna be traveling or out of town. I think I'm coming back on the 14th, so I wouldn't have good reception. I wouldn't plan on meeting in July. Anybody else? Okay.
So you cannot meet in July if you don't want. I do think, if you don't want to meet, that's fine. We will likely over email need to make a decision then about Christmas decorations, if we're holiday, decorations, so.
I mean, we could do the meeting in July and skip August, because then we'd have everything lined up, but I just can't be there for July. Anybody else know if they'd be available for July?
I plan to be. It doesn't matter to me. I'll do whatever.
I'm available in July.
I should be available.
So I would probably say, let's keep this July meeting if we can get enough, because then August we'll have everything in line and not have to possibly meet in August. Especially right with school starting.
August seems to be the off month around city. The city council's taking a day off or a week off as well, so.
All right, I'm gonna say let's plan on July. Well, if I can, maybe by Zoom, I will, but I know it's sketchy where I am for service.
Awesome.
Motion to adjourn.
So moved. It's Angel.
Holland seconds.
All in favor? Aye. Right?
Aye.
Thanks all.
Thanks.